Nuanced nostalgia, it's a 90s vibe. Come and tap in, we keeping it live. Nuanced nostalgia, it's a 90s vibe. Come and tap in, we keeping it live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Nuanced Nostalgia. I'm Nick Norris, and with me, as always, is my co-host, the beautiful Caitlin Valentine Queen herself, Jordan.
Valentine Queen, hello.
Hello, and
Hi.
welcome to our special Valentine couple of episodes here. We're going to be looking at some rom-coms this week and the next. This week, we're looking at He's Just Not That Into You, 2009 by Ken Kalpe, I believe is how you pronounce the director's name.
Yeah.
Starring Jennifer Goodwin, Scarlett Johansson, Bradley Cooper, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Connelly, Kevin Connolly, Justin Long, Jennifer Aniston, and Drew Barrymore. 3 Jennifers in this one.
Yeah. There's so many people in this.
They're in a lot of storylines.
Yeah, and it's that ensemble cast like they were doing for a second back then with like this and then Valentine's Day and New Year's Day or whatever.
And it all started with Love Actually, and it just
which is probably the only good one that out of all of those. Honestly.
this one's not great. We're going to talk about it, but before we do, are you in the Valentine mood? Are you in the festivities of Valentine?
I would say that I am.
That's
I don't even
great.
know what the festivities would be. Just eating candy. I don't know.
Eating chocolates.
Feeling love.
Kissing. Some free ASMR for you. Yeah. We got the room, a little Valentine themed.
Yeah.
The red lights going, the roses, the hearts.
This is the roses from him, so everyone give a clap.
Clap for me.
Yes.
Bare minimum. Appreciate it. These are some nice roses. They're pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah, they look good.
A nice pink and red moment.
By next week when we record the second episode, how will they look then?
We will
Probably
see.
Not as good. We'll see. So He's Just Not That Into You. I saw this in theaters. Haven't seen it since 2009.
Well, I was very surprised you saw this in theaters because I don't know. I guess I didn't expect that.
I didn't either. I didn't realize I did until the first scene came on. I was like, oh, yeah, I saw this. And I remember the theater I saw it at. I saw it with my mom and Lizzie, my cousin.
That is so funny.
In 2009.
Oh, my God.
Which we would have been in junior high at that time.
Yeah, we were definitely in middle school when this came out. Yeah. And I feel like it definitely shows because a lot of these themes in this I do not agree with anymore. I don't think I ever fully understand anything in this movie, honestly, because I saw because it was like 2009, right? Yeah, so I was in 6th, 7th grade. So
this movie
never had a relationship before. Yeah. A lot of these themes are way above my reading comprehension at the time,
Well, a lot of these themes aren't portrayed is super great either. And this movie attempts, and I say attempts because it doesn't successfully do it. It attempts to look at relationships through a female lens, through a woman's lens.
Yeah, even though a man directed it.
But it's directed by a man, and that lens is very quickly warped.
Yeah.
By what his lens, what it would be.
Yeah.
And so it definitely comes off as not even just forced, but also wrong in a lot of ways.
Many ways.
And so this is a very interesting movie in that regard, and probably
it's just so many things. Like I really thought this movie was so good back then. I thought it was so grown, and I was like, oh my God, such a rom-com, you know what I mean? Loved it. Watching it back now, I'm like, what is going on? I don't know. I'm sure at the time it was good for what I needed, but I definitely didn't understand. Watching it now, I was like, I had no idea this was in it. You know what I mean? So
it's Love Actually, but worse, and in the MySpace era. It's what this movie is.
Worse specifically, and then also in the MySpace era, because I mean that was a little bit before our time, I will say.
Yeah.
Because my first social media was Facebook.
I was on MySpace a lot from 2007 to
but you also had you had older not siblings, I should say, cousins that were kind of they were in the know about that sort of thing.
Right.
And sneeze break.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry.
But anyway, yeah. So for me, I had to discover it myself. So I have one older brother. He's a year older. So we were both in the same age group. So anyway, MySpace is a little bit beyond me, but the way they were talking about how to communicate with people was really funny.
Yeah, there's one scene, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but what you're referring to is there's one scene where one girl is like, it's so hard to date these days because you get their number and you call them and they send back a text to your BlackBerry, and then you call their home phone, and then they send you an email to your work email, then you respond on their work home
To your
email.
home email. What do you mean you have two different emails? You
No.
can't log into both of them?
Yeah.
And
And maybe that's something that people really had trouble with in 2009.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, and I didn't care to look it up.
I mean, it's just, and then like there's like one clip of, I think it might have been Drew Barrymore's character. Who knows what her name was? Doesn't matter. But she was like, people just don't meet organically these days. Like even
Yeah.
in 2009 they were saying that, which is crazy. And now we're in the age of dating apps, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just
if you go on Amazon to rent this movie, which is what we did, it says like in the bio, it's like an all-star cast come together for a rom-com for today's crowd or something.
It's like
and
a very
so
savage,
funny.
right now, on the nose,
Yeah.
like type of thing for like people that are survivors of the dating world.
Yeah, the
What's
dating
going
wars is
on?
what it's, and it's so
Dating wars,
funny.
that's what it was.
It's so
Yeah.
funny because it's like right now, 2009. I just never went to change that.
Never.
Just stayed the
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was right now for 2009, but
Yeah.
just so many outdated, not only outdated technological things, but outdated ways of thinking, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. And ways that arguably were never okay. But,
Yeah.
you know.
This movie almost attempts to have like almost a feminism sort of girl power stance.
They tried, but
you know,
it does not succeed.
and look, all movements come in baby steps. That's the way it is.
I
It's
guess
like
so,
how
yeah.
whenever we get somebody, we'll get these news sites all the time. It's like a first gay couple in Star Wars. I feel like I've seen 6 movies with the first gay couple,
Yeah.
and it's always background characters kissing that they can easily cut out in other markets.
Right.
It's always baby steps, and this feels like a baby step toward a more modern movie.
I suppose that's a good point. Yeah, you can't really just come out the gate with like something. I guess we're used to a very different sort of,
Yeah.
that sort of feminism movie, I guess. But yeah, I suppose you're right.
Yeah. The way that they portray this on IMDb, the description is this Baltimore set movie of interconnecting story arcs.
I never knew it was in Baltimore. That's crazy. I guess it makes sense because they're on the water at some point. There's so much about this that like we just had no idea what was going on the whole time. I don't think they did a very good job of like explaining a lot of specifics.
There's too many. It's too bloated. There's too many characters.
There's too much going on,
and you forget who knows who.
Yeah,
but it says,
and why they know each other anyway.
Yeah, this Baltimore set movie of interconnecting story arcs deals with the challenges of reading or misreading human behavior, and that is I don't know
about that one. It's interesting.
That's the goal at some point in this movie. I wouldn't say it's the entire movie, and also nobody in this acts like a real human, so it doesn't do a good job with that either.
Like I don't know if like, because in my mind, like maybe that's what they think, but like I guess the way it is for me personally is this man thinks that this is how women operate.
Yeah.
And it's just like not true.
There are 4 storylines in this. All the characters interweave into the other storylines because they're all know each other or are friends or work with each other something. And so it gets very confusing remembering who is who.
Yeah.
And also who knows who and how they know each other.
Yeah.
And it gets very, this movie is bloated, and you can tell it's 2 hours and 9 minutes, and really it probably needed for everybody to understand what was happening another 30 minutes, but it was already bad, so nobody's going to add 30 more minutes to this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a budget of $40 million, it grossed $178.4 million. So when you added marketing and everything, it probably made $100 million. Just pretty good. This was back in the day of the rom-coms. We don't really get the theatrical releases anymore. Now they go straight to Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the only thing recently has been Anyone But You with Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell, but I don't know if people saw that, to be honest.
It apparently did well because it had a really low budget, so it's done well.
Yeah.
That's kind of the key to these now. You can't really blow out the budget. It'd be hard to get like a big ensemble cast like this
that.
now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but now you'd want to keep it around 20 million probably instead of 40.
Yeah, 100%. And then I feel like these days now it's definitely about creating drama, like, you know what I mean, on the internet, so people are talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, one of the only things I know about that movie is that there was a whole rumor that the 2 leads had an affair, and that's like, that doesn't tell me anything about the movie.
Yeah,
I know some people, that would cause some drama and they'd watch it or whatever, but that doesn't appeal to me.
I
Like, I'd rather know what a
know.
good movie is.
Right, yeah.
And I've heard it is pretty good. I just, I don't know.
Apparently it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either, but
Yeah.
anyway, that's on the sort of rom-com like this that has happened recently. Everything else
Yeah.
is definitely straight to Netflix and usually bad. So,
Yeah.
not good.
Which a lot of rom-coms in the 2000s were bad, and you'd have one good one every 5 of them or whatever.
They just came out with so many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in my mind, 27 Dresses is so good, and then I was just scrolling through like the recommended ones on Amazon Prime. That one's good, and then also 13 Going on 30 is so good.
Yeah.
Princess Diaries is good, but I don't know if I'd consider that a rom-com. I feel like
I don't
it's
know
more
if
so
13
just a
Going on 30
coming-of-age.
is a rom-com. It's more of a coming-of-age story.
Coming of age, yeah. That one's coming of age, I'd say. Maybe a little bit rom-com, but I say, yeah, mostly coming of age.
I would argue this one's not even a rom-com. There's not much calm in this. It's really just a drama.
Did they intend for it to be comedic?
They label it a rom-com, but there's not really any jokes in this. There's like a couple, but it's really just like,
I don't know.
It's supposed to be a drama.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't really know where the jokes were coming in. Does that mean? I don't know.
No, I don't think
funny?
I don't think it was supposed to be funny. I mean, there's some like lighthearted moments, but not like it's not like comedy.
Not in the same way that like Bride Wars, like that one. There's a lot of like funny things to it, I guess, like actual jokes and like slapstick, like crazy circumstances or whatever sitcom. But like, yeah, I guess not in the same way. This one definitely not in the same way.
This movie is set where and sorry for our screen, it's going to keep freezing like it always does. Maybe it'll start again at some point. I'll work on it in a second. But this movie kind of categorizes itself into chapters, and the way it breaks up these chapters is it will like cut to an interview style moment with some random people in the city, and they're giving their thoughts on dating. And that part, to me, there are some funny moments in that because those characters are likable because they seem more real.
Yeah.
And that's the only really comedy part I can find in this, and I wouldn't call that necessarily a comedy, but I just call it like, so there was a couple funny moments in that.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about that like when I was younger. Like, why do they even include that? Is this supposed to be like in their world? Is this supposed to be a documentary that someone's putting on?
Well, it almost seems that way because at the end of the movie they interview all the characters.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That if I think about that for too long, it's gonna make my brain hurt. It's gonna get too confusing. But I don't know. I don't really know why they added that. If that is not the case, like why are we doing this?
I think this wasn't supposed to be a true rom-com. This was supposed to be sort of a more of a drama, and then they just slapped rom-com on it so more people to come and watch it.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right.
It doesn't really have that rom-com feel to it in the way that many others do.
But for some reason, when I was in the 6th grade, me and my friend Reagan, we loved this movie. I don't really know why. Maybe I think I had to learn baseline relationship rules because a lot of this was news to me back then, which I've never been in a relationship. Well,
we won't dive too deep into it, but the movie starts out with a little girl on the playground getting bullied by a boy pretty harshly, pushed down, and he says like, "You're made of poo" or something. And she goes and cries, and the mom comforts her by saying, "Oh, well, he just said that because he has a crush on you."
Which is the worst advice we're told. The worst advice.
And I think that was a good message because then it goes into this whole thing about like, oh, well, this is how that forms a woman's perception of herself and of the world and of men, and that's not right. And that, even if that was that boy's intention, instead of saying, oh, well, that just means he likes you, maybe just say, well, this is how you should deal with bullies. And do that,
Yeah.
Because that can be a little warping, and that's why
it definitely is because we're taught even in like elementary school and middle school, it's like if he's mean to you, that means he actually likes you.
Yeah,
and then you keep that thought until you're like, in like high school, and then like if someone treats you terribly, it's like it's because he really loves me.
Yeah, and that's
why
what
are we taught that? Terrible.
They show somebody breaking up, and her friends are confronting this random girl, saying like, "Well, he only broke up with you because he likes you so much, or you're too perfect.
Or
he was
like,
scared.
He's not ready for a relationship.
Yeah, and
or
it's
he's
like
never been in one. Like stuff like that.
I think that message that you don't need to make excuses for someone else to console somebody. I think that's a good message, and I think they do a pretty good job of that. Except for there's one like maybe racist moment where they go to like they show how that same thing is used all over the world, and they're in like some vague African little hut, and she's like, he must have lost my hut number.
That was a little weird.
Yeah, that feels a little weird. But the rest of it,
We're just gonna ignore that part.
Yeah.
That was really strange.
Yeah. On Rotten Tomatoes, this film has an approval rating of just 41% from critics based on 169 reviews with an average rating of 5.2 out of 10. Now, of course, Rotten people, who cares about Rotten Tomatoes, that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
that's what it is. And the way Rotten Tomatoes works, for people who don't know, it's not just did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? It takes each person's review and it will decide if the review is mostly positive or mostly negative, and that is the percentage. So
Right.
41% of people had something positive to say about this movie, not necessarily that they liked it.
Well, what was the people's percent? Do you know?
I don't have it here. It's on my notes. But on Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of 47 out of 100 based on 32 reviews, indicating mixed or average reviews. Audiences, so this would be more audience score right here. Audiences surveyed by CinemaScore gave the film a grade B+ on a scale of A to F. So audiences seem to like it more than critics. I didn't like this. I didn't like this at all. I thought that first opening, I think, is pretty strong outside of the weird racist part.
Yeah.
I thought that, I was like, oh yeah, this is charming. I remember this. And it immediately kind of falls apart after that.
I think the only reason that I kind of appreciated it was because it's very nostalgic, which is the whole point of all this. It's very nostalgic for that time of my life. But watching it now as a full grown person, mostly grown person, like there's just so many bad things about it. Not even just like a movie in general, but like just what they're like saying about relationships in general.
Yeah.
So bad.
So there are 4 main storylines, like we said. So the way we're going to talk about this movie is we're going to break it down by the storyline. I'll start out talking about the characters involved in this storyline, who they're played by, and then I'll go in. Each storyline has like 2 paragraphs, so we'll read them and talk about them.
Yeah.
So this first storyline, this is Jennifer Goodwin plays Gigi Phillips. Connor is played by Kevin Connolly, and Justin Long plays Alex. So this is the Alex, Connor, Gigi storyline. In Baltimore, Gigi reportedly misreads the romantic interests of her dates. Following a tepid date with real estate agent Connor Berry, Gigi is befriended by bar owner Alex, who suggests she misinterprets romantic signals. As their friendship continues, Gigi interprets his helpfulness as a sign he is attracted to her, but Alex rebuffs her, chastising her for ignoring his advice. As Gigi moves on from Alex, he realizes he is in love with her. After leaving several unanswered messages, Alex arrives at Gigi's apartment after she returns from a pleasant date and declares his love, and they end up kissing. Now, I think she is the most likable actress in this movie for me. I think her performance is good with how little interesting stuff she has to do, because they make her character really dumb and
so
ignorant
bad.
and
It's
so bad at reading. It's so awkward and quirky, but she still is able to like shine through that, and I think she's really good in this.
Yeah, I agree. She's probably the best part of this. Her and Alex, like them together is the best part about this, I would say. Yeah.
Alex, I like his character. At some moments they write him really well, where he's like, look, I'm the only person that's being straight with you about this.
Yeah.
He doesn't like you. We got some issues here. He doesn't like you. He doesn't want to be with you, that kind of thing. And then, other times they make him too smug and like smart, and he can just look across the bar and read people and if they're into each other or not. And that part's annoying.
That part is just like, give me a break. Like no one can. That's not real life. Like that's just straight up not real life. No one can do that. But I think the reason I guess they give is because he's just such this like womanizer or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, and that's how he's kind of supposed to be portrayed, as this kind of womanizer,
which is interesting. It's definitely a choice.
I know you love a good friends relationship story. So what did you think of did you say they have the best relationship in this, or best story?
I personally think so.
Yeah,
yes.
I think so too.
Yeah.
The others are all pretty depressing. So let's get in.
All of the other ones are. It's so crazy. Yeah. Like I did not remember, like obviously like me in 6th grade would not have like really comprehended all of this and like the complexities, but like I didn't know that there was like a fair story. I didn't know that there was like someone that was online dating, and then like there was just so much in this that like I just just went right over my head. It's crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about the affair story next. See if I can get this together here. with where we're at. I'm gonna have to just get an HDMI cord to be able to do this correctly because it's killing me over here.
Yeah.
I guess it's working now.
Yeah.
We'll see. Okay, but the affair story. So let's talk about that. And I don't know. Just deal with it. Sorry if it's not working correctly.
It's all good.
I'll try to have it fixed by the next episode.
Yeah.
So the next story, Scarlett Johansson plays Anna, Bradley Cooper plays Ben, and Jennifer Cooley plays Janine. Now, the way these characters relate is Ben and Janine, Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Cooley, they are married in this. So, is it Jennifer Cooley or Connolly? I think it's Jennifer Connolly. I think is what I meant to say. It might be here.
Connolly.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But they're married, and Scarlett Johansson, a young 24-year-old Scarlett Johansson, pops up, and she is just incredibly horny.
Yeah. And like
she's just throwing herself at this man, and
who she finds out is definitely married.
Yeah. And that doesn't deter her in the slightest.
Which is just absolutely insane. And like I feel like that is very topical for like a lot of people because, well, I don't know, at least on TikTok, I guess. But, like, people are always like, yeah, like he's definitely gonna leave his wife for me, this, that, and the other. And it's just like that never happens.
Everybody knows somebody like that, or has, or knows somebody that has been like that.
Yeah.
And that's her entire character.
And even if that which is really unfortunate, but even if Bradley Cooper were to leave, his wife for her, like how you get them is how you lose them, so like, but it's just sad. Like, I guess he's supposed to be 35 or whatever.
So I don't know how old he's supposed to be in the movie. In real life, he was 34 when they filmed this. She was 24, and that's definitely like an aspect that's intentional in this because he's like helping her with her new career. She's the new young hot girl, and he's tired of his old haggidy 30-year-old wife or whatever. That's just
who's just honestly an innocent bystander in all this. Yes. It's so pitiful.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So Gigi's coworker Janine Gunders obsesses over her home renovations while her husband Ben becomes attracted to Anna Marks, a yoga instructor and aspiring singer. Ben and Anna pursue a flirtatious friendship under the pretense of him helping her establish a singing career. Ben reveals that he only married Janine after she delivered an ultimatum saying that they should marry or break up. Ben agrees to only be friends with Anna, but she continues her pursuit until they sleep together. And she pursues this man.
Truly.
It's pretty crazy.
It's kind of insane.
They meet at the grocery store, innocent enough, and then they kind of hit it off talking in the parking lot. He walks back to the car where his friend's at, and the friend's like, what was up with that? And he's like, just potential client. Can I not have female friends?
As soon as you say that phrase, can I not have friends anymore? That's how you know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You got a cheater.
Jesus. Yeah, it's so pitiful.
I don't know.
There's just so much. Like, there's so much to unpack with this. It's like kind of insane. Like, he basically gave her a shut up ring, is what it was.
Yeah.
Like, because he's like, I dated her for so long. I'm kind of an asshole if I don't date her or don't marry her.
Right.
And it's just so crazy. It really is. Like, this whole dynamic is insane. And he still sleeps with her too. Like, doesn't give a single.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That was wild.
Yeah. It doesn't look. It doesn't take a lot of convincing to get him to. It really. He convinces himself, if anything.
He tries to convince himself that it's okay.
Yeah.
Because he wants to, but he's trying to like rationalize it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finding cigarette butts hidden in the backyard, Janine accuses Ben of smoking again, citing her father's death from lung cancer for her anger. Ben blames the workmen at their house. During a tense home improvement shopping trip, Ben confesses his infidelity. Devastated, Janine blames herself and wants to save their marriage. Ben seems less enthusiastic. So the scene, they're in a Home Depot shopping, and she's walking away because she suspects that he's still lying about the cigarettes. She has no idea about an affair.
Yeah.
And he shows some like laminate flooring, and he's like, you look at that, it looks almost like the real wood. And she's like, well, I want real wood. And he's like, it's the same thing. And she's like, that's not what matters. And she walks away. She's basically getting at like, I know you're lying about something, but I'm going to be petty about it and not say that you are.
Right.
And he's just like, I had an affair in the middle of Home Depot. Yells it out.
I could not even imagine. Like, and then she's like, are you saying this so I don't like make a scene in public space or
And he
whatever.
is.
Yeah.
100% he is. And he's like, no, I'm not. But I think even if it's subconscious, that's what he did.
Ugh, so uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
why would you say it then? Like, that's so insane. That's so crazy. And then what bothered me is not only that she blamed herself because that's a crazy take, but then also to like for her to not be as mad about that as she is about the cigarettes.
Yeah. She never asked like who the woman is. She never asked any
Never
details.
asked any details at all. Yeah.
And immediately is just like, well, do you not want to work this out? And you can tell he doesn't, but he's like, yeah, of course I do. She's
Well,
like,
I don't know why she did. That's
Yeah.
annoying. Like he was fully ready to move out because he was like, yeah, like what's his face? Neil says I could go stay on the boat, you know. Somehow he knows him
Yeah.
from the other storyline. And she's like, what do you mean? Are you leaving? Why aren't you telling him to leave?
Yeah.
Why are you not agreeing to that?
Yeah.
You want to stay together? Like, I don't know. Like that is so insane, honestly.
So later,
so desperate.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Later, Anna and Ben begin having sex in his office, and he strips her to her lingerie. They are interrupted by his wife, Janine, who arrives hoping to spice up their marriage. Forced to hide in a closet and listen as Ben and Janine hook up, Anna afterward leaves in disgust, ending her affair with Ben. And that scene is actually, they do a good job of making that tense because it is awkward and tense. And Scarlett Johansson's hiding in the closet.
Yeah.
And they were just hooking up. Now he's hooking up with his wife. And that is probably the most well executed scene in this because you do feel that tenseness and like that awkwardness and that like fear that both of them would be having, you know.
I just, it was just so bad overall. Like, and Scarlett Johansson left so soon after the wife left. Like, she definitely would have seen you walk out of there.
Yeah,
you didn't want to wait a little bit.
I don't know how long they were in there, but she definitely had time to like pull up her dress over her. But they were like, well, Scarlett Johansson, young Scarlett Johansson, that
we got to leave her mostly naked.
Yeah. So, keeping things out. Yeah. This makes no sense.
And then it's so crazy for them to describe like hooking up with your wife. What do you mean? You know, that's pretty crazy, but I don't know. Yeah.
Want me to change it to making love? I wouldn't consider what they did as that though.
No, I wouldn't either.
No. As Janine tidies up Ben's clothes at home, she discovers a pack of cigarettes and explodes in anger. When Ben returns home, Janine is gone, leaving his clothes folded on the staircase with a carton of cigarettes and a note asking for a divorce. Janine moves into an apartment to restart her life, and Anna is seen performing at an upscale nightclub. Alone, Ben buys beer at the same supermarket where he met Anna.
You know what? I think this is honestly a happy ending just for the wife.
Yes.
Just for her.
Yeah, it's
which is how it should be.
Pretty downer ending for the husband and Scarlett Johansson, Anna.
Yeah.
Which good. I wanted Ben to end sad.
Yeah, because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's really I don't know. His whole storyline, like he is not redeemable at all.
No, yeah, and they didn't attempt to. They're just like, no, he's
which is fine because like there's other good characters, but like the only Janine is the one that deserved the happy ending, and she got it, and good for her.
Yeah,
because the whole movie, like that man does not like her.
No.
Whole movie, he's like I can't believe I got married. Ugh, do I want to be married? Because like Neil's like, who wants to be married?
Yeah, we'll talk about who Neil is in a little bit. Yeah, I haven't got to him yet. But.
And he's like, I don't even know what he said. He was just like, no one does. Maybe that's just you.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me not a single man wants to ever be married?
There are so many men who love being married, would love to be married. You know, it's But that was a
crazy take.
But that is a man thing to say. I can't tell you how many men I've heard, say that. And believe that.
That's so it, and that bothers me so much because it's like, just don't be married. Then.
Yeah, nobody's making you.
No one is making you.
Yeah,
like leave these women alone.
Okay, so the next storyline is Connor, Anna, and Mary. So just to refresher here, Connor is who plays? That's Justin Long. No. Kevin Connolly plays Connor. See, there's so many people, it's hard to keep up.
Exactly.
Anna is Scarlett Johansson, and Mary is played by Drew Barrymore.
Right.
So
Our
Anna,
favorite.
Yeah. So Anna, Scarlett Johansson,
talk show host. Anyway.
She enjoys a close friendship with Alex's friend Connor. Though Anna wants a casual relationship, Connor misinterprets her playful attention as romantic interest. Anna's friend Mary Harris works in advertising sales for a local gay newspaper and helps Connor promote his real estate business. Like Gigi, she meets many men, mostly online, but despite constantly monitoring her emails, pager phone, and MySpace messages, her dates go nowhere. While Connor attempts to cultivate a gay clientele, two men explain how he is going wrong with Anna. Taking their advice, Connor declares his love to Anna. Feeling vulnerable after her falling out with Ben, Anna agrees to a more serious relationship. When Connor later proposes buying a house and moving in together, Anna admits she does not want to, and they return to just being friends. Mary later runs into Connor, recognizing him from his ad photo, and having only spoken to him over the phone, they hit it off and start dating.
Poor Connor. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna admit this, but I feel like I've known people like that. You know what I mean? That are so
Oh.
desperate.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like desperate for someone's attention, I guess.
I also think it doesn't matter who you are. At some point, you have felt that way to an extent.
That's so true.
Not the extent that this 35-year-old man does, where he's asking someone to move into his house immediately after becoming their boyfriend.
That's a crazy take. Yeah, that's a
But
crazy, insane
I think
take.
everybody at some point has felt desperate and not wanted.
I
and
absolutely have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can definitely relate to that also. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely, it's messed up for Scarlett Johansson / Anna to have agreed to date him if she didn't actually want to do all these things with him.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of wild. But it's also wild for Connor to be like, I'm not gonna buy this house until you want to, unless you want to.
That's a crazy thing. That is so much pressure to put on someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like maybe you like it and then you buy it, and then later like if for some reason later on, you guys stay together, then you can go from there. But it's absolutely insane to like right out the gate be like, I'm not buying it unless you like it. I know
Yeah.
we just got together and I know it took a while because you strung me along, but unless you like this house, I won't buy it.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
That's
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy. And then
Yeah.
the last storyline between Neil and Beth. Ben Affleck plays Neil. Jennifer Aniston plays Beth. So Gigi's coworker Beth Murphy lives with her boyfriend Neil, a friend of Ben's. After 7 years together, Ben wants to get married, but Neil opposes marriage. He does not want to get married. Gigi announces she will no longer misinterpret vague gestures and comments, and says that men who delay marrying likely never intend to. This spurs Beth to confront Neil, who remains adamant that he never wants to marry, and she breaks up with him. We all know guys like this too, who's like, I don't believe in marriage.
It's just
and
I
like
roll my eyes
that's
so hard at that. Like
Yeah.
first of all, yikes,
Yeah.
what's really behind that? Why are you saying that? Like, do you just not like to commit to anyone? Like,
well, they hit the nail on the head with this, because one character says, they're like, well, yeah, a lot of guys say that, and then they break up, they meet some hot 24-year-old, and they're married in
engaged.
6 months.
Exactly.
And that's
yeah.
true. And my experience of every guy I've ever known that's like, oh yeah, marriage that's not natural. They end up getting married to some like young girl, impressionable girl, immediately.
And like I feel like I see this all the time on TikTok because I'm on toxic relationship TikTok. It's like there's that one girl who had like got with or been with this guy for however long and had 2 kids with him, and they have a house together and everything, but
Yeah.
still hasn't proposed to her. And she's like, I gave him an ultimatum at the end of the year. If he hadn't proposed, I was gonna leave. And of course he's like, I'm not doing it on your timeline, this, that, and the other. He
Yeah.
clearly is not going to.
Right.
And it's just they hit it right on the head with that. Is like that's so common, I feel like, for people. I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but like people in their like 20s, like
Yeah.
because you've been together for so long. And I mean, you're exactly right. They're exactly right. If it's been 7 years. What do you mean 7 years? You're still boyfriend, girlfriend.
Yeah. And
crazy.
Look, it's different. If neither of you wants to get married, then why would you?
Then
Don't.
that's
fine.
different. Yeah.
Yeah,
But one of you does.
I don't care if anybody gets married. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it that's at least something you should be upfront of at the beginning of the relationship and be like, hey, I'm not wanting to get married. Not only to save that person, but to save
Yeah.
yourself some headache,
Yeah.
because you'll end up in an ultimatum too, and you're
Yeah,
not going to
you'll
want
be
that either.
unhappy.
So
Yeah. I don't know. Just I don't know. Like the whole concept in general is just like so frustrating because it's usually the men that are like, I don't want to be married. Like,
Yeah.
And then the ones that are worse than this is the ones that are like, men aren't supposed to be like monogamous. Like we can't be tied down. Like, oh my
I
god.
told you this the other day. I had a shower thought, And but it was you hear people like this every once in a while. You'll meet some jerk, but you'll also hear like idiot men on TikTok, like the alpha male guys, be
Yeah.
they're like, well, it's not natural in the animal kingdom to be with just one person. It actually is. For like every single intelligent animal, it is. Like all of them, like they all mate for life. Like these smart ones, wolves, all like alpha males are like, yeah, I'm the alpha wolf. They mate for life. They pick one thing and they mate for life. Rabbits, like almost all birds, like penguins, almost every intelligent animal, dolphin, they all mate for life.
Yeah, and even if that wasn't true, like even if it wasn't true, we're supposed to be like animals. Like we don't have emotional intelligence and like emotional connections with people. Like you want us to be like dogs and just everything. You know what I mean? Like it's so crazy to make that connection. Like we're just like mindless like animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I mean, there. If an alien visited our world, they would decipher us from the rest of the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
We may share the same genetic lineup, and we may be animals, in the most broadest term.
Yeah.
But there is a clear difference.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I don't know. Like that. I don't know. I feel so bad for like women in that position of like wanting to be married so bad and like they do all the wifely duties and everything that is good and they what I mean, and then the husband or I guess boyfriend actually they're just like, no, I'm actually not gonna get be married to you at all. Like people will have 6 kids with one person and still not have a ring, and that's not even to say there's like a whole thing with that. It's not even to say you definitely have to be married before kids, whatever,
Right.
but if you do and you still have multiple kids with someone, like why would they then give you a ring at that point? Like just because in their mind they wouldn't give you a ring.
I think for most people it doesn't matter the timeline of how things happen or when they happen, as long as you're on the same page.
Exactly.
But once you're off that page, that's going to obviously cause a lot of issues.
Yeah. And I don't think you should have to, like, you shouldn't convince yourself that eventually he'll give you a ring eventually. After 7 years, that man is not giving you a ring.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off so bad about this storyline. It's just not realistic at all.
Well,
At the end, I guess.
Well,
is
it's
what
not
I'm
realistic
getting at.
because who would date Jennifer Aniston for 7 years and not
And not-
propose? But also, this is the storyline that gets the least amount of screen time. I feel I don't have the numbers, but I feel like this. And we'll talk about why we think that in a minute, but let's finish it up real quick. Preparations for her younger sister's wedding reopen the issue after Beth hears backhanded comments from various family members. During the reception, her father Ken suffers a heart attack. Beth cares for him as he recuperates at home, while her sisters Wallow and their husbands remain glued to the televisions with constant takeout food while refusing to help at all. Beth's patience wanes as the household grows more dysfunctional and the chores start to pile up. However, just when she's about to snap, she is shocked to find Neil, who learned of her father's heart attack and rushed over, finishing the dishes in a now clean kitchen, done the laundry, and restocked the fridge. They reconcile while with Beth assuring Neil that she wants him back without being married. Neil later proposes, and they wed aboard his sailboat.
I'm rolling my eyes about so many of these things. First of all, what do you mean he just showed up and then did a few chores that he should have already done?
That's all it took to get him back. Yeah,
chores that he should have been doing previously.
Well, it wasn't his house.
I guess. So
he's
just like
it's a nice thing for him to do, but it seems like that shouldn't be what convinces you to get back with him.
I agree. Yeah. What do you mean? That's all it took. That's so annoying.
And also for her to be like, the lesson she learns, which I think is not a good lesson, is, well, you're right. You were more of a husband to me than these guys are to my sister, so I should be grateful. And I don't think that's a good lesson to learn.
That has a terrible takeaway from that. Yeah. Like, what do you, like, she's like, yeah. Like, whenever she's like, I want to get back with you, like, she ends up being like, you're more of a husband to me, not being married than like they ever were, which I understand what she's getting at, but no,
it's not true. He's not your husband.
You obviously wanted to be married. Why are you going back on that?
And you shouldn't have to be grateful for not getting something that you want so badly.
Yeah, like it's so ridiculous. Like that would just never happen.
Yeah,
straight up, it just never would happen.
Well, I don't know. I feel like stuff like this happens all the time,
but I don't know. It shouldn't. In my mind, I guess for me, I would just never do that. But like,
it's a bad lesson to put in a movie for young people, for young girls especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reason that I say this storyline gets the least amount of time is because we don't see what changes Ben Affleck's mind.
Yeah, did we miss a scene? Like, what's going on
we don't
here?
see why he decides, okay, now I'm on board with marriage. He
Yeah.
never has a conversation with somebody about it. He never like learns a thing on his own. They just kind of shoehorn it in at the ending.
Like, why does he now propose? That makes no sense.
Why now does he want to?
Yeah.
Was it just a power thing? He just wanted her to submit, and then once she did, he was okay with
Like,
it.
that's weird.
This ending was not well put together, executed at all.
Yeah. Like, because like either like we missed a scene and then I don't know why they would take it out because that's critical like information.
Yeah.
Or they thought, like you're saying, like maybe she had to be like, I actually don't want to get married anymore, and then gives her a ring. Like, that's weird power play. Like, very strange. Yeah. Either way, not good.
Usually I'll do the fashion toward the beginning, but because we had so many characters to get around and I needed people to understand what they are, now we'll talk about what did you think about the fashion in this movie?
I think I said it a few times. It's the most mid 2010s like fashion you've ever seen. It's giving like business casual. Everyone shows up to a party. First of all, that party scene, first of all, so many people there.
Yeah.
How do they have that many friends? I don't know what they're doing, but anyway, everyone's in business casual.
That one guy's a bartender, so he probably just invited a bunch
I guess
of people.
that's it. Yeah,
a lot of coworkers and stuff.
Yeah,
or employees.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, like Gigi, she had worn this strapless dress with like a belt at the waistline and like a mini shawl. That's the most 2009 thing ever, like that specifically. And then like the bridesmaids dresses for like the little sister's wedding. Very 2009.
Yeah,
like it was like strapless, and then it wasn't even floor length, it was like below the knee. I was like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, and I think that was really, and then the scene where Alex is like talking to this hot girl who like apparently plays games or whatever.
Yeah.
She had which that character wasn't even a big deal, but that made me mad too. She's like supposed to be this hot girl who plays games, and then she's like, all right, bro.
Yeah,
catch you later. Yeah, like give me a break. That made me mad. But anyway, she had like just a t-shirt or no, a tank top on and like low-rise jeans and then like the chunkiest necklace you ever seen. So there was definitely a lot of mid 2010s fashion, and I was a victim of this.
Oh yeah, we all are.
Yeah,
I had the colored shorts and whatnot.
It was crazy. Yeah, wild time.
The way this movie ends, though, while it's playing the credits, is it has interview style questions with the characters in the movie.
Yeah, not the actors, like them as the characters,
which implies this entire thing was a documentary, I guess.
I have no idea.
But it's not shot as a documentary until the ending.
I have no idea. So and then like every now and then, like you're talking about like those interviews. Like,
why else would they be interviewed? Because they're asking specific stuff about the story.
I have no idea.
Unless
I cannot wrap my head around.
There's two things it could be. Either one, it's a documentary and it's just shot like a movie.
Yeah.
Or two, this happened and then they got the people in this world to play themselves in a movie.
I literally cannot. Why would they do that?
I don't know. It's so confusing.
Why would they not just like come up with scenes about it? Like,
who's doing the interview? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
That felt very lazy. They obviously it doesn't make sense because I don't think they planned to do that. They had to think of a way to like tell what would happen after the movie, like after the story.
That's exactly that.
And but like, why do it like that? It's so crazy. Like, who was interviewing them? Who was filming? What? I don't know. There's so many questions.
So the DVD and Blu-ray disc was released on June 2nd, 2009. The Blu-ray version of the release includes a digital copy. It has grossed $26,350,000 in U.S. DVD sales. The film was sold to the brand E ! I don't know how you actually say that.
E! Network, yeah.
Okay, E! Network for 41% of the film's domestic box office. Or $3.6 million for television broadcast after the opportunity passed for the USA Network and HBO to pick it up. I haven't ever seen this on TV, so
this is definitely one of those movies that's on TV. I feel like
is.
like it's one of them. Yeah, that comes on a lot for sure, especially on E! Network because it's like catered to like that. Basically my demographic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't watch a lot of E! Network. I guess that's fine. Yeah.
Because E! used to have like the Kardashians and they have every like reality TV, every housewife show. Okay. Yeah. So it's definitely that's why.
Let's do some IMDb trivia if you don't mind. We don't have a lot. So
okay.
Teresa Russell filmed 2 scenes as Anna's or Scarlett Johansson's mother, Maya, but both scenes were deleted from the final film. These scenes are available on the DVD special feature, so we'll have to check that out.
That's all right.
Okay.
Who is Teresa Russell?
An actress.
You know, I'm bad about
Hold
names.
on, I can tell you exactly what all she's in right here. I've got her IMDb pulled up.
Oh, period.
She's in Spider-Man 3, which we watched last week. Yeah, let's see who she plays. She plays Emma Marco, so the wife of Flint Marco.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Tied it in with Spider-Man.
Oh,
you can't
my
escape.
God.
You can't escape Tobey Maguire.
I want to so bad.
Jennifer Connelly. It is Jennifer Connelly. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
She plays a character whose father died of cancer. In real life, her actual father was dying of cancer at the time and passed before this film was released. So that's pretty sad.
That is actually crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I guess she could, able to channel that real anger and emotion. That's horrible, though. I hate that.
Yeah, true.
Jennifer Goodwin and Justin Long also appeared together on Ed 2000.
What? Hold on.
Both Bradley Cooper and Chris Christopherson have both starred in rendition of A Star is Born. Christopherson starred in A Star is Born in 1976. Bradley Cooper, of course, starred, wrote, and produced and directed A Star is Born in 2018.
He produced it and wrote it?
And directed it. And starred in it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, I don't know. I feel weird about like people that they are directing a movie and then they also star in it.
Well, that movie's by all accounts great. I've never seen it, but
people really liked it. Yeah. I don't know what this movie is. Oh, it's a TV series.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. Ed. I've never heard of that.
Sasha Alexander plays Jennifer Aniston's sister in the film. She also guest starred on an episode of Friends in 1994. During season 8. Alexander also guest starred in season 4 of Dawson's Creek in 1998, 1 year before Busy Phillips joined the cast.
Wait, who?
Sasha Alexander.
I'm really bad about names. I have to look this up.
When Justin Long was watching the hockey game, the voiceover makes a play-by-play mentioning the Terps, the mascot for the University of Maryland. Yet when the television is on screen, the two teams are NIA and UND. Neither are abbreviations for Maryland. So I just threw that in there.
Interesting.
It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scarlett Johansson and Bradley Cooper later starred together in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. He's the voice of Rocket. And she's, of course, Black Widow.
Yeah, they starred together. As in Bradley Cooper was the voice of a rat or a raccoon. Oh my God. I was like, I've never seen Bradley Cooper in a single Avengers movie.
Yeah, he's there.
That's
he's
annoying.
The voice.
Oh my God.
This cast includes 2 Oscar winners, Ben Affleck, Jennifer Connelly, and 3 nominees, Bradley Cooper, Scarlett Johansson, and Chris Christopherson.
Was this what they got an Oscar for?
No. And last one, when Connor shows Anna the house, she is excited. She is excited about the pull-out ironing board. This is a reference to when Scarlett Johansson's character does the same thing in Ghost World 2001.
Wait, what? Scarlett Johansson's character?
Yeah. She's
Anna?
excited about a pull-out ironing board, and she also it's like a reference to the same thing in Ghost World 2001. I've never seen it.
What is Ghost World? There's so much that I'm like, I'm sorry if all these are like really popular things, but I just became a person at this time.
You always got to slow us down looking up a minuscule thing.
Yeah, because I have to know. all I'm seeing is just like, I guess she was in whatever Ghost World 2001 is.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that's about, but
do you think this movie holds up?
No.
No, me neither. It obviously didn't hold up at the time. Critics didn't love it.
Yeah.
People seem to be, they thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
It's just like I said at the beginning, it's definitely, I don't know if like we've just come a long way, like you said, with like feminist movies, but like the message of a lot of this, bad.
We've come a long way.
Good.
I mean, imagine if like they tried to make Barbie in 2009. It wouldn't have been nearly as impactful.
That's true.
On that level.
Right.
So yeah, we've come a long way with this kind of thing. It's baby steps,
But I mean, why was it, I don't know, I was going to say, why was it directed by a man? But I mean, I don't think there was a single female director back then.
You wouldn't, I think now you'd get a female director for a story like this.
Right.
Because it is supposed to be from the female lens. Like that's what it's supposed to be. So it's weird that it's not.
They didn't do it very well at all.
Yeah. Next week we will cap off this Valentine's Day duology here with my pick, which is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, my favorite rom-com.
It's a way
and my second favorite.
What's your first? Oh, No Strings Attached.
Yeah, No Strings Attached is my favorite.
That one's good.
Yeah,
the one with Natalie Portman though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But I'm more interested in talking about How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, that one is way better than this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Both of those are way better than this one.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll go with No Strings Attached because I think more people have seen it.
Wait, say that again.
I said we'll go with No Strings Attached. I mean, sorry, we'll go with How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days because more people have seen it.
That one is more iconic. Like that, I like No Strings Attached too, but I feel like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is definitely way more iconic. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, for coming back once again. Well, we'll be back next week with that, and then we're going to take a break for a couple weeks, the rest of February.
We will be out of the country.
We'll be in Australia. We're going to be in Sydney and Melbourne.
Yeah.
Some Taylor Swift action.
Taylor Swift action.
That's right. Gonna go to the concert, so that's gonna be fun.
Should be interesting.
Yeah, but you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Nuanced Nostalgia Pod. You can email us at nuancednostalgiapod@gmail.com. You can follow me everywhere at Nick06, follow Caitlin everywhere at Caitlin Shorts. I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, share the post. We post all these on Facebook, the full video, but also on YouTube. Follow and subscribe on both of those. Tell a friend.
Go give it a like.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.